For decades, we've asked one question more than any other while staring into the night sky. Are we alone? And while science offered patterns, probabilities, and distant clues, no one had a definitive answer until now. Just 120 light-years away, orbiting a cold red dwarf in the Leo constellation, lies a planet so strange, so eerily familiar, that it's forcing scientists to rethink everything we thought we knew. That planet is K2-18b. Thanks to the James Webb Space Telescope, we may have captured the most compelling evidence of alien life ever recorded. Water vapor, carbon-based molecules, and, most shockingly, dimethyl sulfide, a compound on Earth produced only by living organisms. This isn't science fiction. This is real. This is data. And this may be the moment we've been waiting for. K2-18b is not just another exoplanet tucked away in a distant part of the galaxy. It's something far more extraordinary, a Hycean world. These rare planets possess both a hydrogen-rich atmosphere and vast global oceans hidden beneath. K2-18b is 2.6 times larger than Earth and nearly 9 times its mass. But here's the incredible part. It sits in the habitable zone of its star, the region where temperatures could allow liquid water to exist. And that changes everything. Unlike the frozen deserts of Mars or the violent storms of Jupiter, this planet is wrapped in a hydrogen layer that traps heat, stabilizes temperatures, and shields its oceans from harsh cosmic radiation. Conditions strikingly similar to early Earth. But it wasn't until James Webb turned its instruments toward K2-18b that the real mystery unfolded. Scientists detected not only water vapor in its atmosphere but also methane and carbon dioxide, key ingredients in the chemistry of life. That alone was astonishing. But what came next was historic. In 2025, the telescope's MIRI instrument sent back data that shocked the scientific world. Among the signals was a faint but unmistakable trace of dimethyl sulfide, DMS. Why is that significant? Because on Earth, DMS is only produced by marine life, specifically, microscopic phytoplankton. It's a biological gas, released into our atmosphere by life in the ocean. And it had never been detected on another world. Until now. To add to the intrigue, scientists also found traces of dimethyl disulfide, DMDS, another compound strongly linked to biological activity in Earth's oceans. These molecules didn't appear randomly. They were found together, in a planet already rich in water vapor and carbon chemistry. Statistically, that's not coincidence anymore. Cambridge astrophysicist Niku Madhusudan, who led the research, called it a watershed moment in the search for life. For the first time in human history, we're not just imagining the conditions for life. We're detecting molecular signatures that, on Earth, are produced only by life. So, what kind of life could exist on K2-18b? Some scientists suggest the planet may resemble ancient Earth, long before plants, animals, or even multicellular organisms evolved. A water-covered world teeming with microscopic life, feeding off nutrients and light from a dim red sun. Others go further, envisioning strange filter-feeding creatures drifting beneath the waves, or organisms adapted to the planet's lower gravity and thicker atmosphere. In this vision, K2-18b may not just be alive. It could be evolving, developing ecosystems unlike anything we've ever seen. A mirror, not of Earth today, but of Earth 3 to 4 billion years ago, quiet, rich, and just awakening to life. But with discovery comes a difficult question. Should we make contact? Physicist Mark Buchanan has warned that reaching out could be dangerous. What if K2-18b hosts more than just microbes? What if our signal disrupts a fragile biosphere, or worse, alerts a civilization we're not prepared to face? Others, like Avi Loeb, believe the opposite. They argue that if intelligent life exists, it already knows we're here. Earth's radio waves, satellites, and emissions have been echoing into space for decades. If they haven't responded yet, maybe they never will. Either way, one thing is certain. A message from Earth would take 120 years to reach K2-18b, and another 120 to return. Whatever we decide, we won't live to see the answer. So, the real question becomes, Now that we know what we know, should we speak at all? When the James Webb data became public, the world paused. News outlets broadcast it across the globe. Social media erupted with hashtags. #K2-18B, #AlienOcean, #WeAreNotAlone. For the first time in years, the headlines weren't about politics or crisis, but a single question that united all of humanity. Did we just find life? Emergency panels were convened at top universities. International space agencies, NASA, ESA, and even private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin quietly accelerated plans for new telescopes, probes, and interstellar missions. There were whispers of AI-guided spacecraft and light-sail technology. Meanwhile, classrooms filled with curious students asking new questions about biology, physics, and our place in the cosmos. K2-18B had done something extraordinary. It made us feel connected. Not just to each other, but to something far bigger. And yet, an unsettling thought loomed. If life is out there, why is it so quiet? The age-old Fermi paradox returned with new urgency. If the universe is filled with planets like K2-18b, where is everybody? We've discovered over 5,500 exoplanets so far. Dozens lie within habitable zones. But if K2-18b shows real signs of life, it forces us to confront a chilling possibility. Maybe we're late. Maybe intelligent civilizations rose and fell long before us. Maybe they didn't survive their own discoveries. Or worse, maybe life is everywhere, but it chooses to stay silent. Because if K2-18b is alive, and we eventually detect complex ecosystems or even intelligence, then silence isn't a mystery anymore. It's a message. One that says, you're not the first. You won't be the last. But you must be cautious. K2-18b is forcing us to rethink biology itself. Life on Earth depends on oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, and water. But this planet has a hydrogen-rich atmosphere, no oxygen. So, could life breathe hydrogen? Could photosynthesis work under a red dwarf sun? Could biology follow entirely new rules? Scientists are now re-examining extremophiles, organisms on Earth that live in acid, radiation, or vacuum. Once thought rare, these life forms might now be the blueprint for life beyond Earth. And here's the most terrifying idea. What if alien life has already visited Earth, in forms we didn't recognize? In strange rocks, crystals, signals, or microbes that didn't match our definition of biology? K2-18b reminds us that life may not look like us. It may not think like us. But it's out there, waiting. Before this discovery, we looked to the stars with curiosity. Now, we look with responsibility. If life exists elsewhere, Earth is no longer the biological center of the universe. We're not the exception. We're just a chapter in a much larger story. Psychologists warn of an emotional shock they call cosmic trauma, the realization that humanity is not unique. Religious institutions are re-examining their creation narratives. Governments are considering the geopolitical consequences. Educators are preparing students for a future where Earth may be just one living world among billions. Some people feel wonder. Others feel fear. But no one feels indifferent anymore. Because when James Webb gazed into the clouds of K2-18b, it didn't just see molecules. It saw a mirror, not of what we are, but of what we could become. For centuries, we believed life was a spark on a lonely rock, surrounded by silence. But K2-18b changed that. It didn't shout. It didn't flash. It simply whispered what we've always suspected. Life is not unique to Earth. What the James Webb Space Telescope captured isn't just a scientific achievement. It's a turning point for humanity. A signal. A mirror. A quiet confirmation that the universe is alive, breathing, and becoming. And now, we're no longer asking if we're alone. We're asking, what else is out there? Who else? When? And maybe, are they looking back? This isn't just about a distant planet with strange chemistry. It's about us, who we are, who we've been, and who we might become if we choose to listen. Because in the clouds of K2-18B, hidden in hydrogen and time, we may have just found the answer we've been chasing since the dawn of civilization. Not proof of aliens, but proof of possibility. Now it's your turn. Do you believe we've just witnessed the first undeniable sign of life beyond Earth? Or is this only the beginning of something even greater? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to Space Loop for more revelations that are transforming our place in the cosmos. And remember, sometimes the universe doesn't shout. It waits. And when you're ready, it whispers back.